I want to announce a new series of shorter lectures on Kant. When it comes to Kant, I know what I'm talking about. I have read all of Kant in the past year. Um, I made it my goal to read at least 100 pages of Kant per day, and most days I succeeded with that. And all of Kant's works, that is 29 volumes, not just the books and essays that he himself published during his life. Those are just the first 9 volumes. Um, but also his letters, his notes and manuscripts, his lectures that he held as a professor. I have read all of that because it is important to me when I talk about a topic to really know what I'm talking about and to really be an expert in what I'm talking about. Now, I already have a longer ongoing series where I try to talk about Kant's whole philosophy, and I have also written books about Kant's whole philosophy. The first of which is going to be published in a few months, so only in German for now, unfortunately. Um, but in this new series, I want to be shorter and I want to focus on some of the main thoughts of Kant. Whoever watches my longer series will not find anything new here. So you don't necessarily have to watch these shorter videos. I won't say anything here that I'm not saying in the longer videos. On the other hand, I will leave a lot of things out. But maybe you may still find these videos useful. Sometimes it can help to, at the end, get a short summary, or maybe at a later point, you want to be reminded of what I said without having to watch many, many hours again. So you will be happy to have a short summary. On the other hand, if you are not watching my longer videos, um, or if you intend to watch them in the future, maybe you will also find these shorter videos helpful, um, because sometimes it can be a good thing to get a short introduction or a short summary at first, before delving into the details. And sometimes when you no matter if you watch these shorter videos before or after the longer ones, sometimes when you want to get a picture of the forest as a whole, it is helpful to look at the forest from afar and take it in as a whole forest, while if you look at many individual trees from up close, it can sometimes be easy to miss the forest as a whole. Um, with that said, um, of course, you can also just watch the shorter videos. Maybe not everyone wants to watch many hours of lectures on Kant, and that is perfectly fine. I, of course, try both in my lectures and in the books I've written. I try to summarize Kant's philosophy, but still, I want the summary to be complete. I wanted to include not just his main thoughts, but also his side thoughts. And therefore, the summary is still quite long. Just like not everyone, like I did, wants to read 29 volumes of Kant, um, not everyone wants to listen to many hours of lectures on Kant, and that is fine. You can of course also just watch the shorter videos to get a sort of basic concept of what Kant is about. However, I do want to point out that, for one, when it comes to Kant, not just his main thoughts are valuable, but often it is some of the remarks, some of the side topics he talks about, that are very valuable. And also, maybe not just Kant's remarks, but maybe also my own remarks that I make in my longer lectures are of value. I give many examples that help understanding Kant better. I give my own further thoughts. I relate Kant's thoughts that he made over 200 years ago to our modern life. Maybe that is something you would find of value. Furthermore, one thing that is especially important to me in my talking and writing about Kant is to not just give his thoughts as isolated thoughts, as if he had talked about this topic and then about this topic without any connection, but rather to show the system of Kant, the organic, systematic connection of his thoughts. And that is something that takes time because it requires comparison of different thoughts. It requires explaining how they are connected or pointing out how his various thoughts, like, for example, in theoretical and in practical philosophy, how they have a similar structure. So that is something I can't do in a shorter format to the extent I would like to. So that is another reason why I would strongly recommend checking out my longer lectures, or maybe in future even my writings. If, however, you only want to watch the shorter lectures, once again, that's perfectly fine. I just want to give a warning or a piece of advice in that case, and that is that you should not assume that they will really teach you what Kant is all about. We live in an age that is often very superficial. We live in an age that often shies away from getting deeper into things. Our age doesn't like to take the time for that. It also doesn't like to invest the work needed for that. And often it simply can't bring itself to be interested in anything enough to get deeper into that thing. But still, our age is also an age that likes to talk about everything and judge everything. Well, it is fine if you just want to get a very broad and basic concept of some of Kant's main thoughts. However, you should not think that by that you know Kant, or you are able to judge Kant and to judge where he was right and where he was wrong. Because, to be sure, even Kant was wrong on some things, and I talk about that in my longer lectures. I will not have the time in the shorter lectures to talk about that so much. But if you want to really understand Kant on a deeper level and to really be able to judge Kant on a deeper level, then you will have to deal with him in a deeper way, and that will take more time and work. This series will not be updated weekly like my series of longer lectures on Kant. Rather, what I plan to do is cover one main topic, one chapter, so to say, like Kant's theoretical philosophy, or his moral philosophy, or his philosophy of religion, with longer lectures, and then giving a sort of overview or sort of summary of that chapter of my lecture series in a shorter lecture. I will conclude by pointing out that if you want to support what I do, you are very much welcome to do so. You can do that via Patreon, or via Ko-fi, or via PayPal. What I'm doing here takes a lot of time and a lot of work. The videos alone, recording them and cutting them, take up many hours each week. And if on top of that I want to read as much as I want to do, if I want to read at least 100 pages of a philosopher per day, then it really is not possible to have a regular job where I work 40 hours a week. That's just not doable. Um, but what I do here for Kant, um, being so thorough with him, and being so serious about him, and reading him and then explaining him in whole, uh, that is something I also want to do in the future with other philosophers. I'm already working on that, since my work on Kant, apart from recording videos, is basically done. My books are written, even though not published yet. My reading of Kant is done. So I'm already turning to the next philosopher, that is going to be Nietzsche, and I want to read him in whole too. Um, and apart from that, of course, I also have my own philosophy, my own Aufklärung work that I want to do in lectures and in books, and that I want to get into in the upcoming years. So, if you want to support that, if you want me to be able to do all of that, which takes time, um, then I ask you to consider doing so via Patreon or Coffee or PayPal.